What is up, disc golf fans, and welcome to the 2023 Down East Players Cup presented by yours truly and powered by Basket Bashers. It's a very exciting event. We've been coming here for years now and always excited to show West Meadowbrook and Greenville, North Carolina. My name is Chris German. We have Derek Scull in the booth again, bringing you commentary. How you doing?
Doing great. Really excited to be a part of this. This has become one of our flagship events that we cover in our A-Tier schedule every year. And to start off the tournament, we have no strangers. Michael Johansen, Paul Oman, Andrew Marwede, and Nathan Queen, our very own. Really excited to hop in here. We got a lot of other familiar faces here as well. Scott Conway being the local and a multi-time winner. We start our tournament off hole one, going right into the woods with a par 3. Got some early trees to beat, and then a few more down the way. You want something that's going to carry straight about 300 feet or so and have it check up right into the green.
Yeah, I love this hole. There's that really tight gap that you start with. Basically jail over to the left if you hit early and kick over there. If there's a place to miss, I would say over there to the right isn't the worst. But as you can see, there are so many trees to the left, and people do end up there. So Michael Johansen start off real quick. We have Paul Oman. So he hits the gap, gets about halfway down. Andrew Marwede. Very good in the woods. This is such a good card to start with, man. Some great woods golfers.
And the lefty up on the box. He's in his home state this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say Gatekeeper's own commentator for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, Nathan Queen. It's exciting to see him playing after taking about a year after winning the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship to fix an injury.
Great tree direction there.
There you go.
All right.
Home state love right there.
Well, he was following suit for the rest of the card over there on the right, and it looks like the course had different plans. We got MJ playing pretty quick, pretty stock layup for him.
Yeah, such a great hole to start. It's a good one to get as well.
Oh, tag and metal there, even though it was not the cleanest release for Marwede.
Has this brought a lot of big names, as it usually does, being right after the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship and still being in North Carolina?
Yeah, only a few hours from Charlotte.
Nathan gave it his best, found some cage, but doesn't look like we'll be seeing any birdies to start this hole one. As this is a park-style course, as you can see, some outfield to a baseball field out there, so we will see some of that come up on the course as we play around that. As we're going to move into hole 2, another very tight gap, only about 50 feet down the fairway. We have OB to the left, comes in pretty quick. You have OB to the right if you get over the fence. Also, this concrete path OB as well. So with a right-hand backhand, a lot of shots tend to lead that way, which could end up to seeing some OB strokes, which we have seen in the past.
And coming in at 435 feet, I mean, you do have to put some power behind it with that tight gap right out of the tee. So it does kind of bring a lot more into the game.
This looks like it could flirt with the fence over there to the right, but Paul should be in. No problem. So this is a good play if you have it. Eliminates more of the OB, kind of gets you over to the fence.
And right up on the fence.
Nathan gets to do that the traditional way. So that's kind of the play here. This is a pretty tough one to get. We don't see a lot of the field getting this hole. Another layup from our guys. But Nathan, he's within that range. Could give this a good bid.
And that was our shot.
Yeah, these first couple holes are pretty cool because you kind of go back and forth in and out of the woods. So we're going to kind of crisscross across this big fairway. But next couple holes are ones you want to try to get, especially this next one at 3.
Yeah, hole 3, you do not see the basket from the tee. Par 3, 284 foot, going to be pretty much a standard left to right hyzer. If you have a forehand, you should use it. Just like MJ, who is not very known for the forehand shot, but he makes the turn with no problem. There is a lot of OB kind of around the green there, so this is speed and distance control.
Yeah, the OB comes up pretty quick on the left. You almost want to feel like you saw it off. You also have OB if you early release or anything into those leaves there, but that is flirting, and you can see it's going to be OB. It's probably only about 45, 50 feet from the basket, just outside circle 1, really. A little higher from Andrew. It's lucky he stayed in bounds there because there is OB over there to the right. Good shot from Nathan. Good height from Marwede. Paul with the OB stroke can get aggressive and try to save his par.
Ooh. I don't want to see it. Yeah.
MJ's in there real quick. Nathan, we missed Nathan's shot there, but he also made a putt for birdie from about circle's edge. So 2 birdies on the card. Par and a bogey. Very good scoring separator hole. A lot of different scores come on this hole. Woods, another very tight gap out to the open. This is what I was talking about, back and forth. We're going to go back into the woods on the green side. A lot of trees to contend with. First and foremost, you have to hit this gap about 50 feet down the fairway.
It's a very active park that our players are playing in as well, as you can hear in the background.
Yeah, you can literally throw rocks to the airport. One of the reasons why we can't fly the drone on every hole at this course. So you have planes taking off, you have baseball games.
The train track right there.
Yeah. Ooh. As Paul gets out into the open, so that should be all right. It's really when you kick and then don't make it out into the open. It's where a lot of trouble can happen. As a lot of people end up about in the circle 2 range over here to the right, I would say. You can kind of flip it over a little bit and get over to the left as well. Marwede with a great putt, gets on the board.
Finally, one of his goes in. He's been waiting for that.
Good hole for Nathan. He's got 2 in a row now. This hole came in exactly at par, so averaged exactly 3.
Hole 5, baseball field coming into play like Chris mentioned before. Par 3 coming in at 397 foot. Mando to the right of the baseball pole there, or well, a little further than that, but really you just want to, in Nathan's case, easy turnover right up to the green.
Yeah, but this one, go ahead.
I was going to say, for the righty, should be just a standard hyzer shot, similar carry to what, similar flight pattern to what hole 1 is, just a little more open and a little further.
Yeah, that pole definitely gets in the mind when you're on that tee box. Mando being the tree behind it, so if you do hit it, you could still advance or something like that, but this is just such an interesting hole. And then if you push it too straight, you can end up in the woods. Makes for a tricky putt. And it also is like a sneaky 400. I think it's hard for people to really like park this hole, or you just don't see it that often. I don't think the shape really sets up for it with the trees here.
Paul going the much wider route.
Yeah, I like that. Should be about 40 feet or so. Oh, yeah.
Nathan's feeling it. All right.
3 for 3. That's a turkey. Good putt from Paul as well. Gets himself on the board and back to even. So we're going to have a couple cleanups. Everyone stays away from that tree line there and makes the hole look really easy. 3 birdies. hole 6, 414-foot par 3. We have OB road here. You have to cross over these little stakes, and basically we have a lot of guardian trees. Kind of sets up for a straight shot, but a couple different lanes. You can go to the right side, left side. So it's really kind of pick whatever you want. Nathan takes that left side.
No putt.
Marwede going back to his comfort zone with a forehand. Oh, stopped up by the one last tree there. Still a great shot. That didn't look like...
Great left shot, left side. I felt like he wanted to take the middle gap, but
Yeah, or almost like it didn't flip up quite enough. Paul definitely has one of the more interesting, very smooth backhand style shots.
as MJ making it look awesome. Nice flex shot from him. Puts himself well inside the circle. Paul inside the circle as well, so...
It's a little deceiving from the tee, right? Like if you land there left, it's really not as punishing as you may think it is.
Yeah, I thought he was a little closer to kind of what Marwede was. And I thought Marwede was closer to what he was in terms of distance. So,
All about the angles, folks. All about the angles.
Nathan looking to grab 4 now. Just outside the circle.
You can tell he's pretty upset about that one.
Yeah, these holes here are the ones you really want to get. So I feel like the middle of this course gets pretty challenging. We have a par 5 in there. A lot of woods and gaps to hit. Speaking about hard holes, this next one, probably the hardest.
Yeah, hole 7 is a 679-foot par 4. We got OB all along the right-hand side. We got it on the left there too with the baseball field. And what do you know it? More OB extended. You essentially want to play safe and kind of make the turn, make that corner to give yourself a clean approach into the green, because you got OB to contend with almost every step of the way on this hole.
Yeah, and there's the OB, and that's kind of what happens is you almost play... You kind of play a gamble and play lucky and try to sneak through if you are skipping past those poles there. This is more that safer route you were saying. Just get around that corner.
Yeah, there's a shorter tee pad up there. I'd say, you know, if you're, I don't know, 50 feet ahead of that.
If you can get to the shorter tee pad, you're in a perfect spot. That's exactly what you're looking for. You can bail out and kind of get up against the fence, but then it sets up for a weird lie sometimes. So I feel like that's what's going to happen to Paul. Marwede didn't even make it around. This is going to be an interesting shot because the OB comes up on the left when the fence ends. So then you have to worry about OB left. Looks like he executes.
Another example of speed and distance control.
This is a tough lie for lefty here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that did not end up flipping.
And you could hear the wind kind of picked up right as he was getting ready to throw. If that stays clean, it does. Okay.
Be right on the edge of circle, as this is basically worst case. You got the pole right there.
Yeah, almost taking out any chance of a run up.
And then having to basically
Oh,
throw over
come
OB.
on.
Get
Wow.
going.
What a close shave, but he does find himself in bounds.
Nathan, after his OB stroke, to save par,
Ooh,
gave
it's
it a
good
good
bid.
run.
Yeah, good bid.
So you can see that OB comes up quick on the left-hand side. Ooh,
Oh,
wow. Marwede is so close on some of these bigger putts. So I would say we're pretty fortunate with the card.
oh yeah. And that's what we want to see out of MJ. Great par
Great
save.
putt. Paul for birdie. That is such a good birdie to get. This hole did average over par, so that's taking a lot of strokes on the field. Nathan for his bogey. He's able to get it. Slows down that really hot start he had. And kind of a stress-free par for Marwede. It's never a bad feeling for hole 7 when you have a tap-in par. We're going to move into hole 8. Another par 4 at 578 feet, but do not let it deceive you. Very tight tunnel. You have to get out of those woods. This is a great landing zone where you should have a good look at the basket and just execute about a 200 to 250 foot approach. A lot rides on this first shot about getting out of this gap. If not, you are scrambling and you could very easily rack up some strokes.
Yeah, to be honest, like distance really isn't something that you have to concern yourself with too terribly much coming off the tee. Really just getting yourself out of that gap is going to leave yourself with plenty of options.
Yeah, Paul does well there. MJ, though, that is one of the worst cases. You kick over to the right, just really gets you
Oh.
pinched for your second shot.
And that might be tied with worst case scenario as well.
Yeah. Both sides are pretty equally bad, just in their own way.
And this hole is relatively new to the event. I know one of the early years we covered it, it had been freshly carved out, pushed back. One year we even played it before there were official permanent tee pads in it. So,
Wow, look at this shot. Had an open look to the basket, and he executes a great shot. To go off your point, it's maturing very well, the hole.
yeah, I think there were some hot takes about it early on, but I feel like the club kind of knew what they were doing, and it, like you said, it's maturing very nicely.
The second shot, very fun shot to throw. Nathan's going to put himself, looks like inside the circle. But this is not an easy shot as well. Very easily, you can have an early release, go to the left there. Turn something over to the right, end up on the edge of circle. With all these wood masters here, though, they just make it look easy.
All right.
Great putt from Paul. We're seeing some great putts. Paul now rattled 2 in a row after taking an early bogey. Nathan's looking for a bounce back. Bounce back indeed. This hole came in averaging exactly par again. It's the second one. It's a full field too.
Hole 9 is a relatively new change as well, given the past couple years. Par 3, 298-foot mounded pin here, basically carrying through a pretty tight corridor off the tee. And you need it to basically drift to the right so that you're getting yourself in the opening. Once upon a time, this did play as a triple Mando off of a shorter pad.
Yeah, and don't even let this yeah, that was sub 200 feet, I think. And
yeah,
a little bit gimmicky, and they have since gotten rid of it. And don't let this sub 300-foot hole. Don't think it's easy, because it is not. This is one of the hardest holes on the course. And I think it's going through the earlier stages of what we just saw on hole 8, where it's a little bit newer than hole 8. So it still needs a little bit more time for the underbrush and for the hole to really become its own. But until then, these guys are going to try to get the birdie. And as long as you get mostly down the fairway and you kind of get to where you get these 2 separate little fairways and it opens up, it's pretty straightforward from there. It's just really getting out of that gap.
I can throw it 400 feet, but I don't know.
These guys making it look easy. Just doing their...
Oh.
Paul finding some metal. Marwede. Another big putt for Andrew. Was able to get in there. Save his par.
Looks like we almost missed another one of Nathan's putts.
Only 7 birdies on the day on this hole, so out of the entire course, this was the fewest amount of birdies. Just that shot shape makes it really hard to get down there and get the birdie. So par frame is going to finish us out on this front 9. Some great scores coming in overall. A couple 3s, a couple 2s. You want to try to push to the double digit if you can. A couple easier holes on the back 9, I think, as we push through.
That's right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the front 9 coverage of the Round 1 Down East Players Cup, an event that we've been a part of for so long, and we are looking forward to bringing it again.